Here we go, because these three headlines about Celtic are absolutely wild, and the last one might just blow the roof off paradise. We've got Viljami Sinisalo finally breaking his silence about his lack of minutes at Celtic. Martin O'Neill admitting he has no idea if he'll even be in the dugout for the next match. And Wilfried Nancy now on the brink of being appointed as the new Celtic manager. It's that serious. Stay with me right to the very end. We have 6 news a day to keep you updated with the mighty Celtic. Hit that subscribe button and be part of it. Mate, let me speak to you like we're standing there in the stands at Paradise, the wind battering your face sideways the way only Glasgow can manage, and the pitch glowing under the lights. This whole situation with Viljami Sinisalo, it's one of those stories that fills you with pride and frustration in equal measure. You know fine well the lad's a proper keeper, calm as you like, sharp as a fox, and colder under pressure than a winter night walking down Sucky Hall. But he's stuck behind Kasper Schmeichel, and Schmeichel, even at his age, is still pulling off saves like he's 25 and trying to impress the scouts. And you can feel Sinisalo's hunger, mate. You can hear it in every word he said back in Finland before their matches with Malta and Andorra. He didn't need to spell it out. The boy's desperate to play. He wants minutes, he wants rhythm, he wants that buzz under the lights that no training session can ever give. He's not kicking the door down to leave in January, but he's definitely rattling the handle, and that's where things get interesting for Celtic, because everyone knows, absolutely everyone, that his moment is coming. Schmeichel's not daft. Time moves quicker than a counter-attack against the lot from across the city when they've pushed too far forward and forgotten how to defend. And when his moment arrives, Sinisalo can be our number one for years, mate. He's already shown it. He stepped up last season in those crucial games, solid as a rock. Some folk even felt he was hard done by when he was dropped for the Scottish Cup final. And honestly, judging by what he delivered, it's hard to disagree. But at the end of the day, playing matters. Training doesn't sharpen a keeper the same way a deflected shot in the 92nd minute does, when every single soul inside Parkhead gasps at once. Sinisalo wants that. He needs that. And here's the real dilemma. Do Celtic keep him close, believing he's the long-term heir to the gloves, or does he slip away because minutes were too hard to come by? So let me throw something right at you. You, the Celtic fan watching this right now, and I want you to tell me straight in the comments, if Sinisalo asked to leave on loan in January to get game time, would you let him go or keep him here because he's the future number one at Paradise? Hit that subscribe button. Lads, let's G it loudy till we hit 1,500 mad Celtic dafts. Mate, let me sit you down for this one, because it feels like one of those proper Glasgow moments. The kind where the wind's howling, the floodlights are humming, and every single whisper around Paradise feels like it's carrying the weight of the whole season. Martin O'Neill, the big man himself, the legend who walked these halls back when Celtic were flattening Europe's finest, has come out and said he genuinely has no clue if he'll still be in charge for the next match against St Mirren. And honestly, hearing him say it in that calm, almost casual way, it hits different. You can tell he's not stressing, though. The man's 73, wiser than half the managers in Britain put together, and he's been holding the fort ever since Brendan Rodgers bolted 2.5 weeks ago. He's taken charge of 4 games, 2 wins in the Premiership, the tough one in Europe against Midtjylland, and of course, that glorious extra-time victory over the mob from across the river. 10 men, extra time. The Blues squealing louder than the rain slapping down onto Sucky Hall Street. O'Neill handled it like he'd never been away. But now the whispers are getting louder. The board's been interviewing folk. The papers are throwing Wilfried Nancy's name around like confetti, and the bookies have suddenly made him favourite to take the job. And Martin, he's just standing there calm as you like, saying he's not involved, not asking, not interfering. He made it clear he came in to steady the ship, and the moment a new boss walks in, he'll hand over the keys without blinking. Whether that's Saturday Monday, or tomorrow morning over a cup of tea, he's ready, and you know what I respect? He's not chasing some sentimental victory lap, the Premier Sports Cup final coming up. Some folk would love him to stay just for that, the big Hampton day out. One more trophy for a man who brought us some of the most iconic memories in Celtic's history, but he shut that right down, said he's a romantic eye, but that doesn't matter one jot. He's here to help, not to cling to the spotlight. Classic O'Neill, classy, honest, and still sharp enough to handle the chaos swirling round the club. But here's the real thing I want you to chew on, because the managerial hunt is heating up, and the club could be days away from a massive decision. So let me throw this right at you, and I want your honest fire in the comments. Should Martin O'Neill stay in charge for the final at Hampton, or should Celtic bring in the new manager immediately, even if it means risking momentum in the middle of a trophy run? Hit that subscribe button. Lads, let's gee it loldy till we hit 1,500 mad Celtic daffs. This one's got that proper Celtic soap opera energy buzzing through the air, the kind where you can feel the whole of Glasgow holding its breath, waiting for something huge to drop. And here we are watching Wilfried Nancy go from nice wee rumour to on the brink of walking through the doors at Parkhead like he was meant to be here from the start. Record Sports saying, we're in the decisive stage now, and honestly, you can feel it. Dermot Desmond apparently kept things on ice out of respect for Columbus while they were still kicking about in the playoffs. Fair enough. Can't have the big man strolling in and causing a scene mid-campaign. But the second their run ended, Celtic didn't waste a heartbeat. Momentum rolling like a storm over the Clyde, talks expected this weekend, and the club genuinely hopeful they can get Nancy in the dugout immediately for the St. Mirren match when the Premiership gets going again. That's a bold move, and I love it. Shows ambition, shows confidence, shows we're done messing about. Now the contract chatter. He's tied to Columbus until at least the end of 2026, but nobody stateside seems to think this will turn into a messy saga. Compensation between £1 and £2 million should do it, and if that's the price, you pay it. Simple as. It's pennies for a club like Celtic when you're talking about securing a long-term manager with a proper football brain, a philosophy, a vision, and let's be honest, someone who's going to have the Blues shaking harder than a freezing night on Sucky Hall Street. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Nancy is known for keeping tight circles, surrounding himself with folk he trusts, and his main assistant, Kwame Ampadu, looks set to follow him. That's big. That means new ideas, new energy, new structure, and naturally, that puts a spotlight on the lads who are already here. Sean Maloney, Stevie Woods, brilliant servants, no doubt, but football doesn't stand still. Their roles could shift, change, or even disappear depending on how Nancy wants his house built. Because, make no mistake, the club's intentions are clear as day. Nancy was the first choice from the start, and now all the signals are pointing in the same direction. Everything feels aligned, from the board to the players to the momentum swirling around paradise. It's like the football gods themselves are nudging him towards Glasgow. And I'll tell you this, if Nancy's football at Celtic ends up anything like what he produced in the States, attacking, brave, fast, full of flair, then paradise is going to be bouncing again, and our noisy neighbors will have one more thing to greet about while they're drowning their sorrows before noon. But let me hit you with the real question, the one that'll split opinion right down the middle, and I want you to answer honestly. Do you think Wilfried Nancy is the right man to take Celtic forward? Or is the board taking a massive gamble, bringing in a manager who's never dealt with the pressure cooker of Glasgow? Hit that subscribe button. Lads, let's G it. Loldy till we hit 1,500 mad Celtic dafts.